Welcome to today's video. Today we are learning about grading optimization. You may be wondering how to make simple your grading process. And grading optimization is a tool that will enable you to make the grading process to be very simple. And today we'll be exploring or introducing ourselves to grading optimization. So let's go. Now, here you have a site, and as you can see, the surface is very raw. You can see the surface is very raw. If I go to Object Viewer and look at the surface, it's just a raw surface. And now we want to create a finished ground surface whereby if I was to drop a water drop here, it would follow the drainage of the parking lot very well, and it would drain away from the building here. This is a building. So if I was to drop water here, anywhere around the site, through grading optimization, I would have good grading and good slopes that will enable that water flows away from the site efficiently. So let's do a flow path analysis here to see how the water is flowing for now. So if I select the surface, this is the surface, and then I want to place the marker, the start marker, to see how water is flowing. So as you can see, water currently is flowing haphazardly. So if you drop a water drop here at the parking lot, so there's some water that is coming this way, there's some water that is going that way, there's some water that is flowing that way. And now we want to control all this so that the water maybe is going to the roadway, because this could be a roadway here, and then this is the building, and then this is the parking lot. So how do we do that? Let's utilize the grading optimization. So if I go to the Analyze tab, here you can see grading objects. And if I click on this, there are two palettes that pop up, the tool palettes and the grading objects browser. So before we even commence, the first thing you do when you're optimizing your site through grading optimization is that you create the grading limit. So how do you create a grading limit? You just create a polyline. Let's click on PL, and I'll just create a polyline here that surrounds this surface, and then I'll close it. So this will be our grading limit. Let me offset this 3 meters. So I offset that 3 meters. So this will be our outer limit, and then this will be our grading zone. So this will be the grading limit, and then this will be the grading zone. Okay, so if we toggle on again the grading objects, here you can see there's a grading limit. So let me click on the grading limit. This is the first thing you get to define. So once I click on that and hit enter, here I can define or customize the slope constraints for our limit. So let me just put it to 0, then to 50 here. All right. And then next you have the zone, your site zone. So where you will be having milder slopes. So let me just click here on the zone. So here you have a zone. So you don't want your parking lots to be very steep. So this is the zone, and then we will customize the slope constraints. So I just click here on customize slope constraints, and here I put it to 0.5 to let's say 5. So this will be our limits. Sorry. Escape. So this is a zone. Once you're done defining that zone, you just click X, you just close it. The next thing I want to define is my parking lot. You can see you have all these objects that you can define. So how you define a parking lot is also quite simple. You just create the polyline again. Create a polyline surrounding this. And then you close it. So you click on the parking lot and then you select the objects set as parking lot. And then you hit enter. And then for a parking lot also, let's have just a limit of 3.5 as the upper limit. And then once you're done, you just click close. And then let's also define our building pad. So this is our building pad. This is our admin block here. So come here to the tool palettes and hit on the build pad. And then you click on the object and you hit enter. And here you call it admin. Admin block. And then the depth of material, don't want any depth. I just want it to be draped on the surface. So I click X here. And this building pad also, water will drain away from the building pad. So this is toggled on. Then the next thing, very important, I want to define the drain lines. So for the raw surface, the existing ground surface, you could see that the water drop analysis was showing us the water, if dropped on the surface, moves in various directions. So I want to control that. So how do we do that? We use also polylines. So let's create polylines that show our drainage. So polyline again. So start where the flow is starting from and where it's draining to. So you start from this side and then it's going to let's say drain on the road outside there. Then let's draw another one. So flowing also away from the building, coming to meet the other flow path. And also another one draining from this parking lot, coming to the center and then flowing outside. So you can also decide, you can also have your drainage, let's say parallel on this side and on this side. And as long as it comes all the way to the surface drainage on the roadside. So once we are done, we click on drainage line here and we select the objects set as drainage lines. So we select the 3 lines here and then we hit enter. Here we just show that this will be introduced as break lines into the new surface, and that is toggled on, and then we click close. So once that is done, we can now initiate grading optimization. So I'm not creating ponds for this. I'm not creating retaining walls. I'm just creating a drainage showing how water will be removed from this surface. So I'm just creating a finished ground surface that will optimize how water will be removed from the site. So once you're done, you just click on optimize. And then you select the surface or hit enter. And this window will pop up, and this is showing you this is the surface, and then this is your grading objects. As you can see here, you have your grading limit. So you have a grading limit as you defined it. Then you have your zones. You can see your zones, and the parameters are showing up down here as you specified. And then you have the grading options again here. You can decide to balance cut and fill, for example. If you want to balance cut and fill to 100%, you can do that. You can minimize earthwork as well to 100%. So the percentage of your choice, you can choose that. So, and then you can smooth the surface contours to 100%. Of course, this is something I would choose. And once you set up your optimization options, you can toggle it off. And now the grading is ready for optimization. So let's optimize and see what happens. So it's starting the optimization here. So iteration required. So as you can see here, there's a green line that is showing. If the green line shows up, it means that a solution has been found, and now you can even stop your grading. But we have some notifications here. So it's telling us edges of grading limit are too steep to meet max slope constraint. So this you can ignore for now, you can dismiss, because a solution is likely. So this solution is to a very high accuracy, as you can see. So you can even stop the process for now and export the surface. So let's export. Let's stop and let's update our drawing. Here I don't want to export feature lines, so I'll toggle this off. I'm going back to surface. I will name the surface optimize surface. And then I will give it a different style. And then we finish, and then the optimized surface is brought to Civil 3D. So let's have a look on Object View and see whether this surface has been optimized. As you can see, it has been optimized. And if you zoom near, we will be able to see the building pad. Here you can see the building pad. So let's rotate this. Here you can see the building pad. You can see the parking down there. Okay. Yeah, here you can see the building pad, and then here you have the surface. So let's put it to the test. Let's put it to the test through the analysis, the flow path analysis as well. Let's see whether the water is flowing as we directed it. So we are prompted to select a surface. So here I select the surface, and then I place a marker at the start point. Click OK. So let's drop water here and see. Good. If we drop water here, we can see now it's going to the drainage that we selected. Okay. Now water is not flowing outside or haphazardly on different directions. Okay, so also on the building pad, it's flowing away from the building pad. Water is flowing away from the building pad as well. So that is how grading optimization, is done. That's just an introduction. If you like this video, remember to like, to share, and to subscribe to our content. Thank you.